So I'm back to pretty much come back with the end of this. It's a process. You had to go through a process. The people around you had to go through a process. People will have a level of respect, and people will give you a level of grace. Grace is necessary. This is why it's taken so long. Some of you wanted to rush to get to where you're going, but I always remember the line. Well, actually, it's something that one of the ministers I listened to said. It's like you have to have the ability to, what is it? It's where your character has to be able to hold you in that position. Meaning, once you get there, you're on your own. Not to say that God doesn't left you, but once you're there, all of the stuff that you learned in the wilderness is supposed to prepare you for when you got there. It's not that God's leaving you. It's in that moment. I remember in Cinderella, where Whitney Houston's character said, I got you to the ball, but now it's on you. Once you get exalted, you're going to have to carry that mantle. And you still got a couple more levels that you got to go. Even once you get to the promised land, there's going to be adjustment periods. Your marriage. Some of you are going to go into courtship. Some of you aren't directly going into marriage. Some of you are going into eloping, and then you're preparing for your wedding, but y'all might have kids between now and the wedding because y'all eloped. Let's just be honest. And that's going to take an adjustment period. Then it's going to be the adjustment period after you actually do the wedding, because the wedding may be your announcement. Because it may be a public affair. How many celebrities, how many what have you, their wedding drew much attention to the situation. People didn't know who George Clooney's wife was until the day that they got married. Everyone was like, oh, who is the woman that he's marrying, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's talking about George Clooney's wife. And da-da-da-da. Some of you may be able to keep your anonymity until you get married. Meaning have your wedding. But once the wedding happens, the anonymity may leave you. Remember, she was trying to hide under a hat while she was at school. Y'all not going to be able to hide up under hats when God starts having the press. If you're called to celebrity, start following you. The press going to have pictures of you. The press going to have you on the news. You might be getting phone calls from family members that, I saw the strangest thing on the news the other day. I was watching E.T. It just happened to flip past there. I thought I saw you. That person looked just like you. Oh, really? You looking at the team like, you ain't telling me I was on the news last night? They done caught a photograph of you with the press. Be like, who's his? Wait, she wearing a... Hold up, she got the ring. Wait, when did he hook up with anybody like to that degree? Hold up, y'all went off and got married and... Wait, you on the red carpet? We just saw you on the red carpet. Oh my God. Was that legitimate? You? People messaging you ain't heard from in years on Facebook talking about, was that you on the red carpet last night? I saw that picture. I saw an ad pop up on my phone and I thought I could have swore I saw you in the background at the... Yeah. You ain't gonna be able to duck out on this one. Because you've been exalted. But God's protecting you. Nina did a word talking about the other day that God is protecting you even in the midst of your exaltation. Because the enemy is seeking for you. I talked about this. He's sniffing around because he wants to mess you up before you get there. He want to either mess you up before you get there or right after you come out. That's what he does. That's that spirit of Baal. That's that spirit of Jezebel. They want to knock you out as either just before you come in or right after you get in. That's what all that stuff was about, coming after her. So keep your eyes peeled. Understand. But you're coming into that level of exaltation, whatever you're being exalted in. It may be a job promotion. It may be marriage. It may be celebrity. It may be influencer. It may be your career. It may be whatever the endeavor is that God has given you in this season. But God's doing it. And you got to walk with him and follow his leading. And he's going to lead you, but he's also going to pass you on to your husband and allow that man to lead you. And you're going to have to follow him. But you got to remember, though he is the leader of your household, don't forget you still praying to God. Don't make that man your God. Because I already know now, when it comes down to it, the agreement I have with the Lord is I'm going to pray to God. If he got to tell me, if my spouse got to be the one to tell me the answer, then I'm going to pray to God first, and it's going to come out my spouse's mouth is what's going to happen. But guess what? The number one is going to be God, because the 3-strand cord is not that easily broken. Remember that. And you ain't going to be able to hold this position of exaltation without God between the two of you. Because the farther either one of you become from God, the farther you will become from each other. And it's going to mess up the whole thing God's trying to do. And the enemy wants that. Understand what God's trying to do. Understand the exaltation. Understand that God's in the midst. He knows what he's doing. Follow his instruction. You may be in isolation right now, but it's not going to last forever. When it is released, it's going to be so sudden. And you're going to look up, and just like Amos 9 and 13, or 11, 9, 11 through 13, that speaks of, it's going to come up on the hills. Everywhere you look, it's going to be blessings upon blessings upon blessings. I keep seeing the movie title, or at one point I was seeing the movie title, Everywhere, All at Once, All at the Same Time. That's how fast it's going to be. Some of y'all been complaining, God, it's taking so long. It don't take long for God. When God does it, he does it in a completion. Your exaltation is going to be complete. Lacking nothing. Everything's going to happen all at once. You sit up there talking about, oh, we going to get married and then we going to have them. God be like, marriage, kids, exaltation, this, that, the other. You going to be like, wait, what? Wait, hold up. Can I get used to being the mom? Can I get used to being the wife? Can I get used to... God's like, sorry, it was a lack of time and you lost some time, so I got to rush your time. So it's going to be a little bit fast. So I'm going to need you to get used to the pacing. So I'm going to give you moments to breathe, but I'm going to need you to move. That's what exaltation looks like. What's her name? Journey to Purity did a word called something spotlight. And in it, she talks about a dream where she's being forced to do something. And she's like, it's a presentation and a performance and it's all getting ready to come together and everything's coming together so fast. And she's like, wait. I don't even know when this performance is happening. What's going on? And they're saying, you already know. What are you talking about? And then she looks at her watch and comes to the understanding. All the time that was spent in the season of wilderness and preparation beforehand, in the season that you're in now and the seasons prior, prepared you for the exaltation that God's about to take you into. It may seem like you don't know. Take that moment, breathe in, look at the situation strategically, and get the knowledge of it, and the Lord will say or show you, look, you already been through this. Apply what happened in that season to this season. That's why I said I was in a season where I was living in a building full of security. I'm and probably end up in a season where I'm surrounded by security again. But that's why the Lord allowed it to happen back then, so he'll allow it to happen in the next season. And I'm prepared for that. I'm not irritated or frustrated anymore because I know why. So understand, God did all the things that he did in previous season. You may not understand it now, but when you get where you're going to be able to look back. Oh, that was to prepare me for this moment. That was to prepare me for this moment. Because you're not going to have as much time to think about it as you did in your testing season. You're just going to have to move. Because you're in exaltation. Walk through your exaltation. And it's going to be okay. God's going to have people, witnesses, and people that are going to deal with you season by season. I talked about this in the glitter word. Exaltation. The door is opening. Enter in. You just got to be prepared for that. All right? So, yeah. You're going to know what you need to do. Intuitively, God's going to give you wisdom, dreams, all that kind of stuff. He's not going to give you as much time as he gave you in your isolated season, but you're going to know, and you're going to be able to move at the pace. Remember back in the Breaking Dawn when Bella made the point of saying to Edward, and Edward was like, you caught on so quickly. I didn't know that you were going to catch on so quickly. Yeah, because God already prepared him. God's prepared you. So because you're prepared, and you were prepared in this season, and your husband was prepared in his season, you're going to move faster than people thought you were. Which reminds me back to what I said in the MacGyver word when I was talking about one of the definitions for ghost is to glide. You're going to glide through that season, and the enemy is going to be pissed because you're moving so quickly. Because God's got to accelerate you to the position that you were supposed to have been in if the enemy hadn't been delaying, which really wasn't stopping nothing, because God knew that was going to happen and he made time for that anyway. He knew those delays were coming, and he also used that as time to prepare you and your spouse in those seasons. So, no, understand. There's a reason for that. It's all coming together, though it may seem like it makes no sense. But when it all comes together, it will be like, I get it now. So, understand, you're being prepared to be exalted. Take a breath, breathe in, because it's about to be what God showed you. It could be overnight. What's her name? I've heard two people say this. It's two forms of confirmation. Overnight success. Exalted overnight. Some of you are going, and I'm hearing the song by Twister. I'm gonna make you a celebrity overnight. I think even Megan Michelle did a word almost a year ago talking about I'm gonna make you a celebrity overnight.